we met November last year at the Public Order Inquiry Commission. I testified there about my experience in Ottawa and being arrested, and met Stacey and Beth Ann there. They had me up on a stage in Toronto. First time speaking, I think that was when I met Josh Alexander. And ever since then, just went to as many events as I could, spoke as much as I could about the problems and, more importantly, the solutions that should be the main topic of our conversation. We know what the problems are. What we need to do now is focus on the solutions. And to me, what I see is that when we came together in Ottawa, that was a magical moment in history, and it was orchestrated by a higher power, thank God. And I always say it brought the salt of the earth together, and we all came into one place, and we all connected. And when we solidify that network, as we continue to solidify that network, that is where our super strength is, because we are up against a very well-organized network, and they're all over the world implementing their same agenda, and we're starting to recognize what they're doing, where they're doing it, and where the battleground is and where we can push back. So for me, I really think that the solution to globalism is localism, and I started networking. I went from networking across Canada to focusing on my hometown and finding the different activists there, finding the different groups, finding the people who are doing things, and helping them connect and supporting their initiatives. And we had a few people looking at the local town council, and I hadn't thought too much about the local town council for a while, but what I noticed was there was about 0 to 2 people paying attention to our local town council. And then I started looking at their environmental committee reports, because I have an environmental background, and when I went to college, I woke up to the climate change, the lack of scientific evidence to support that and everything that they're doing moving forward with it. So I was quite interested in that, and sure enough, I found that they're trying to restrict our mobility rights and all sorts of things. So me and a gentleman, John Dunn, we went in, we both did a delegation. That's when you go and speak to your town council. And I brought forward the history of the UN takeover and how in 1994 the Federation of Canadian Municipalities sent a 40-page document to all of our municipalities, basically giving them the blueprint of how they would like the global agenda to be implemented at the local level. So as much as it seems like a big global agenda that we can't do anything about, it's actually being implemented at the local level. And it's in those municipal councils that we can turn things around, especially going from 0 to 2 people at a council meeting. So we've taken that to now having 60 to 100 people at the council meetings, to having 10 delegates at the council meetings, to having our own town halls and inviting the mayor and council there, pulling them out of what appears to be the UN headquarters or field offices all over our country. They're in our town halls, and that's where we have a voice. That's where we can actually make a lot more change. So, you know, we are all leaders. We all have so much potential to start organizing groups at that local level, even 5, 10 people. It just starts with that spark, and we are getting wins. So I'm from the Peterborough area, and we had, I started off right in the main Peterborough city, but then we started getting calls from Peterborough County, the lower tier municipalities, the farmers, right? And they said they're about to push past this official plan. And so we had to look at that plan, and sure enough, they're driving all future growth away from these lower tier municipalities and moving them into the settlement areas, so the cities, the 15-minute cities. They are they're doing something with the provincial mapping, which will make it really hard for them to maintain their private property rights. So eventually these farmers will have to sell their land because they won't be able to maintain it. And this is all being done by the city staff who aren't even elected. The official plans, the strategic plans, they're being done by the city staff in consultation with international consultant groups like ICLEI, which is the International Council on Local Environmental Issues. I'll say that again. The International Council on Local Environmental Initiatives. That was the key for me, that one piece of information when I realized that they were, which is affiliated with the UN, when I realized that they were, that this was how they were operating with their public consultation, we brought that forward, and we went to Douro-Dummer, lower tier municipality, and we brought all of this forward, and at the end of it, they did not pass that official plan. They said one councillor after another, including the deputy mayor, said, what she said, there's facts to it. These are farm boys, you know, this is where we can make wins, is in that rural area. These councillors, one after another, said, it's time that, they can't in good faith pass this official plan. It's a death sentence to their municipality, and it's time that they stand and be counted. And I had a feeling that if we went for the small towns and the rural districts of Canada, we go to those councils and we get behind them and we say, the people are here, we're sorry we've been asleep for a little while, but we're back. And we want a local agenda, and we're here to get behind you, because I pointed out to them, to the mayors and councillors, I said, you are the government. The city staff is not the government. For too long, the city staff is basically running the show, and they got this guy in there called the CAO, the Chief Administrative Officer, and he's trained in implementing the UN agenda, and all of this is easy to point out, and I believe that we can take back Canada, we can take back our rural land, we can take back the north. They have driven us off of it. They want us to abandon the land. They want the land. The UN coined the term sustainable development, and in that definition is a reference to how they don't support private property rights. They don't believe in it. They want us off the land in the settlement areas, and you know, this is a battle, and we are, I look at it like territorially speaking, and we can take back the majority of Canada. If we can just save the farmers, if we can save the rural land, then the cities will have to negotiate with us, because so you can, thank you so much for doing this, and you can find my work. I created a newsletter. I'm trying to share as much of this information about what's happening at the local level. It's gather2030.substack. I'll put some cards on the back table there. And it's basically a counter to the global agenda. It's initiatives that we can do at the local level to gather the people. There's defensive strategies and offensive strategies like this council initiative, and there's a lot of work to be done. So we all got to just make it our business and support each other as best we can. Thank you.